and com- commentary on the people feel like they're not accountable to the American people who voted for Trump. I would like to let you know that not only you deserve to lose your jobs because there doesn't seem to be any kind of teammanship, and the simple email, the simple five detailed what do you do, what have you done, and what have you accomplished question, which is simple, if you love what you do. So obviously there's no teammanship in your workspace, for one thing, because you should be able to work together with, or get together, instead of complaining, get together with your coworkers and come up with some good things. If you love your job, if you love what you do, if you love what you do, every day, that's no, that question is nothing. That question is nothing. But what you don't know and what you don't understand is those who are sympathetic to the enemies within the Dems are actually steering you wrong when they tell you not to answer, because one or two things are going on. Either there's nobody in those positions and their government's just fraudulent and fraudulently paying for that position, and someone's taking the money fraudulently, or we got people who are actually in those positions not absolutely getting money and don't recognize that they just cash cows for the Dems. I don't know which is worse. Not understanding why you're suffering from taxation without representation, because they don't hear your voice. The Dems do not hear your voice. But when they're ready for rallying cries, they can find a few people to go against the grain, to go against what is right. They can always find a few people who don't know what the deal is with the corruption, with the swamp. And the swamp was never going to be easy to drain, because the alligators and the crocodiles just don't come out of the swamp easily. They're not, that's their livelihood. Crocodiles and alligators, they need the swamp. They live in the swamp. They strive in the swamp. When you mess up the habitat, what they depend on, the alligators and crocodiles, you're going to get a fight. You're going to get a fight. So that's obvious in itself. That's obvious in itself. So all along, they doing this to the American people, you, me included, all the government workers who don't know that they were on the plantation and cash cows and wasting their talents and their gifts just to be cash cows. And then not only cash cows, but like I said, taxation without representation has been going on for a while in America. So they make like it's, Trump is, I say the audacity, because Trump is sitting up here being accountable every day to the American people. So we see the work that he does. We see the strife that he was put through just to get to the position that he's in, to work for us. So we see what he does every day. And if he didn't if he didn't go harder and tell his workers, like Elon Musk, that he needs to do, be a little aggressive. But Trump already knows what we want. See, he knows the mandate. He has a mandate, and he's trying to do the job. What's your mandate? What job are you trying to do? Is your mandate to destroy America, or is your mandate helping America? Are you doing the government job that you're in for the American people? Are you doing it for foreigners or other people outside the country? Are you doing it for the Dems, the bureaucrats? Are you doing it to enrich the world's oldest wealthy family? Are you doing it for some other evil means? Or are you simply doing the job you love to do for the American people? I can tell you, when I was in the Navy, everything was accountability, and I loved what I did. I loved my job. I appreciated I appreciated having a job. I appreciated being there. I what I loved most is that I could possibly be sacrificing my life for my country. And what I learned as a younger person in school about history, about about the Civil War, about the all of that, and all them brave men who sacrificed their lives, and not only that, many went on to do greater things. That was impressive for me. That's what pulled me upward, was looking at the greatness that was done and the people who had that greatness within them to do those things and to reflect change upon not only the world but their communities in America in itself, you know. So that's what it's about. It's about the individual, but the individual has to come to some reconciliation or some kind of recognition that they are greater than just being cash cows. You are greater than not knowing what side is right and what side is wrong. You should know what's right from wrong by now. You should want to err on the side of righteousness, not on the side of wickedness and evil and greed. Because I say this to say that. I say that to say this. Look at it this way. Mm-mm-mm. Look at it this way. I lost my train of thought. Look at it this way. Okay, the Dems are not lifting poor people up. I don't want anyone to be poor in America. There's no excuse for it. This is why I talk about the Rothschilds and talk about agendas. Because the Rothschilds, wicked family, who always had nefarious plans for the world, right? So here in America, we got a unique situation. We're not like other countries. There's no excuse for people to be poor in America. There's no excuse for people to be at poverty level in America. The country didn't start out like this. The country did not start out like this. There was millionaires in the black communities in the olden days. I mean, way back. There were people had money. People flourished. There was no poverty. There was no poverty because people had farmland. People had farms. There was a rough life, yeah, work, 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 but they had. And their families stayed together. But we got some nefarious people who wanted to split the families up, who wanted to take the people's lands and not have farms, mini farms, not as many farms, move the people to the cities, suburbs, suburban, and to pitch black and white against each other, to pitch all races against the whites, or whites against all other races, purity. All that's programming, don't you know? All that was propaganda and agenda that they did to the Caucasian people in their communities. Um, and as well as the same thing they secretly and sneakily did in the black communities, programming. So people would not be able to focus on prosperity because we're in a position where we could have prosperity in this country. And Trump so happens to see that as a businessman. And he's wondering why is this like this when it doesn't have to be. You see what I'm saying? And I'm wondering why is this like this and it doesn't need to be either. And I grew up in a community that, struggling people. I still struggle a little to this day, but by my own faults. All by my own fault. Um, hey, and I just know that America, we can do better. We can do much, much better. And we need to be lifting each other up. We need to be focusing on money, how to gain money, how to get money, how to get our credits together. I've had my credit together so many times, but then I turn around and I F up again. So, and I'll get it right back again. that's the, that's, it's like a vicious circle that I've taken myself in. And we don't have to do that to ourselves. I know I got a lot of issues, and perhaps my issues are what make me entangle myself into ridiculousness. Let's just say that. When I know I could do better for myself. And I encourage others that are around me to always do better. I want to see people do better. If I don't see, I push my aunt to do better. I wanted her so much to do better. But sometimes people have, me being in a position to understand that, to really understand that it's hard. Things happen to people. People get stuck in the past, get stuck in struggles. I've been there, done it, and probably still will do it. We'll still do it. But we need to move on and look better, do better, and stop doing the same thing that puts us in a bad position in our lives. I mean, I'm not saying that thing that might put you in bad position is bad. No, you're the one that makes it bad because you're the one that's going to that thing and it's affecting your life. If you were going to it in a better position, better place, then it wouldn't affect your life. So that's what I say about that. Um, so, we could do better. We can do much better in America. We don't have to have sympathizers keeping the poor down. You're cheerleading for the poor, but you're cheerleading for them to be poor, to stay poor. You're not, and you're getting rich. How is this? Do you see? The question is, how is this happening? If anything, if Nancy Pelosi got all this money, why isn't she doing things in the community that she seems to want to help? Why does the money go from the community and not into the community? These churches, they'll put liquor stores, they'll put smokehouses, and then they claim, well, we need this, we need to set up this organization, we need this organization. Make it make sense. You give a person a fishing pole and you teach them how to fish, you gave them a pot of gold in itself, and you just let them flourish from that. That's all you had to do was teach them. The government wants to keep you in that position all your life because they understand the changes that rearrangement they did in our country. They broke down the families. They created all this other nonsense stuff. The same nonsense stuff they take over to other people's countries with our money and teach them. They did it here too, right? And somewhere in there, you're focused on living, but how do you live when you don't have the means? How do you teach a little 5-year-old boy that he's really a girl and it's okay to change his sex? Who's going to take care of him in the future? How is he going to strive in life? Or is the whole agenda for him not to strive in life, for him to fail? Because that's setting him up for failure. That's setting the children up for failure. That's all they can do for American people. And it seems like for the foreigners, they do the same. They allow them to come in the country and they set them up for failure. Because they're leaving a place of decency and coming to a place where these people tend to want to rule with indecency. Many of them, these foreigners, lost their children, you know. So the devil always seeks to steal, kill, and destroy, and break down. We see it every day. But yet, the simple little email that went out, a mandate not from just President Trump, but from the American people. We wanted the swamp drained. And part of draining the swamp is everything he's doing. But like I said, alligators and crocodiles, they need their habitat to survive. And once you take that away, they are going to fight. And they just might bite. But simple things as to just 5 descriptions of what you've accomplished. Trump is accountable to those government workers. Trump is accountable to everybody every day. And they couldn't even do the simplest thing. With that said, true love, real peace, and the higher self within. The soul till next time. Peace.